I've had this sweat tent for over a year now, and I want to tell you the good, the bad. Is this thing actually worth it? By the end of this video, you will find out, and you'll know why that light is coming through that crack right there. To start off with, I want to talk about some of the good. First of all, this thing gets up to heat incredibly quick, and actually one of my favorite parts about using a sweat tent is the process of actually making a fire. I've had other saunas that were like infrared or steam ones, and there's something about actually lighting the sauna, right? Like getting the wood, actually lighting it, that makes me feel very relaxed. And part of the whole reason why I do this is for my shoulder pain, and also just like to feel relaxed and to loosen some stress. I'm gonna start sweating in a second. It's so warm. I am sweating. So, well, there's gonna be a lot of things that I talk about, both good and bad, about this sauna. Actually, on the top of my list is the actual process of making a fire in here. Now, one of the only annoying things about this is actually the size of this. So if you see this piece of wood, if I laid it in flat, it wouldn't quite fit. I couldn't close the door. But if I lay it at a slight angle, now I can close the door and everything's totally fine. And yes, I do realize this is going to happen with every single sauna, but that is the one annoying thing. It's like half the wood that I got when I got it for Facebook Marketplace is like really long, and it just does not fit in here, which is kind of annoying. So if you do want to buy one of these, make sure you use the code GABE to get 10% off. Also, there's a link down below. Really helps support the channel if you are thinking of buying one. Second of all, make sure you get wood that actually fits it and isn't too long. Otherwise, it's just gonna be really frustrating to use. So pretty much I cut my wood pile in half, and half of it is overly long and I use it for bonfires. Half of it fits in here perfectly. Now, while we are on this thing, you can see a little bit of wear and tear, and this is actually a new one. This one's about 3-4 months old, something like that. And the other one that I had was definitely showing some wear. This is their newer version, which I think is a lot better because it glows red as this heats up. It just looks a lot sleeker and cleaner, and overall has held up great, but it doesn't look brand new all the time, especially as you're having water on it. It's been winter here a couple times in New Hampshire, so that is one thing about it. Now, a few things about the sweat tent. A couple people have asked how you can control the temperature. One of them that I will do is I'll just Velcro this right here so some of the air can get out if it's getting too hot. I could also let this down, this flap down, if I want to insulate it to kind of, you know, make it heat up faster. But overall, the problems I generally have is it being too hot, not hot enough. Actually, last a couple of weeks ago, I got this to 210 degrees, which was miserable, by the way. I would not do that. But generally, I keep it like 180-ish, 170. And I found that to be the sweet spot. That generally takes like 20 minutes. And this fireplace right here, actually all the way up to like right here, will be like glowing red, which is crazy. Now, before we get to some of the negatives, if you are thinking about buying one of these, I would totally get the bench that they offer. It's relatively cheaply priced when you compare it to like anything else, and it's held up really good for being a year old. I feel like this looks about the same as when I bought it, even though I'm like sweating on it all the time and all this stuff. It's great, and you can fit up to 3 people. I've had, you know, one person here, and yes, it is slightly tight. Ideally, like 2 per bench would probably be good, but 3 is totally fine. You could probably fit another one like right where the camera is, but I don't think that would be super fun. So I think 1 to 3 is ideal for this. I also got this bucket because if you're doing this, when you pour water onto the rocks, the heat difference is like night and day. It just instantly bumps it up like 10-20 degrees, like what it feels like. You start sweating instantly, and this is like controlling that. So like as soon as you're ready to like bump it up, just throw some water on. So I think one of these is a no-brainer. Held up really well for a year. Looks brand new pretty much. This is the box of rocks right here. It's actually really well designed where you can see it, all the water is going to flow out the back there, so that when you pour water on, it steams off on the rocks, but then it also pours out the back right down to the bottom, which is just like well designed. They also have this protective like different material right here that goes all the way around the fire, and that just helps the material itself to not burn. Now, I didn't have it nailed down immediately, and the wind actually blew it over and it burned on right here. Now, that being said, that was 100% my fault. I just didn't have it staked down correctly, and so that has happened. Now, I want to tell you about this in a second. This has fallen in a couple times, especially when there's like 3+ inches of snow, I would say. The top just falls in because even though this is pretty sturdy overall and like nothing's gonna hurt it like wind wise, when you have 20, 50, 100 pounds of snow on top, it's just not gonna hold up like that, obviously. And so you are able to push it back up. Nothing seems to really get injured, but this is, I believe, caused from that. I'm not 100% sure what caused these, but I'm guessing it's just falling in a couple times is what caused it. Now I want to kind of show you here these windows. You're gonna have 1 window, 2 window, and this could be a window if I opened it up. These are awesome. So when you're sitting in here and you can actually look outside to see your yard, see the woods, see whatever you want to see your kids playing, I think that is one of the selling features of this. I love being able to see outside while I'm doing this. It also has a second door, so one door on either side. I choose to use that one, but you can use whatever one you want. That's really nice as well. Honestly, I've never used this back door. Never once. So I'm sure it's nice for somebody. Now, before we get to the outside, this right here is slightly annoying. Honestly, I can't seem to get it down all the way, or at least for it to be able to stay. In the summer, it's generally fine, but in the winter, the snow, when it falls in and like the snow and stuff, that's kind of annoying. So ultimately it's fine, but that is just a little bit tricky occasionally. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm literally dripping, and it is, how long has it been? It's been just an update. It's been 23 minutes. Let me check the temperature. It says it's only 110 degrees, but I'm sweating. My shirt's all wet, so yeah. All right, so the outside here overall has held up really well. There is this kind of top thing which helps keeps the rain off, and there's a little bit extra protection for the top. Goes on really easily. This has definitely gotten a little lighter. If you look underneath here, you can see the color it used to be and the color it is now. The sun has definitely worn this down a little bit, but overall the material, the insulation, all of that seems to be totally fine. Now those little things that we saw on the outside, this is them right here. And this little one right here, I am not sure how that happened, but I want to be totally honest and let you know that did happen. Now you can get tape, just like from Amazon, that you can just put on top of this and it would be totally fine forever. I'm just going to leave it and kind of see what happens so I can keep updating if anything changes. This just goes down if you want that, but the color has definitely shifted. In fact, you can even see it this side to this side, depending on where the sun hits. Just the color is very different. Now, with all that being said, should you buy a sweat tent? I would say, first of all, yes. Not only because you can get 10% off at the link below, but I've literally recommended this to friends, to family. I think for the money, you're probably not going to get much better of a deal. There is something like the sauna box, which would be good if you have more inside. You can have a wood stove, something like that. But as far as the outdoor ones go, and perfectly honest, I haven't tried a ton of other outdoor ones, but I've looked at almost everything on the market, and I think this is by far the best deal for your buck. Judging off of this, I know this is going to last multiple more years. And if you don't want to spend like $8,000 or $5,000 on a stupid sauna, and you just want something that is entry level, but still really solid that you can pick up and move, then I think this is an absolute no-brainer. If you have any questions about this, I'd be happy to answer them. Let me know down below. I'll catch you in the next one.